SBN, Sports Business Now. SBN is a division of Row 27, the digital sports marketing company, celebrating 5 years of creating TV spots, intro videos, and microsites for over 150 teams. See our work at row27.com. And by FanMaker, digital marketing tools for sports teams, featuring FanMaker Rewards, the most comprehensive and popular fan loyalty and reward system. Learn more about our apps at fanmaker.com. SBN Live.
Hey sports fans, welcome to SBN Live episode 39. My name is Max Huber, and this is where sports marketing and technology meet. I'm joined today by two special guests, one of our new contributors to SBN Live, Katya Dragotis, to my left, your right on the screen, along with the Senior Vice President of Marketing for the Tampa Bay Lightning, Lynn Wittenburg. We'll start with you, Katya. How are things going today?
Pretty good and pretty excited to be here, Max.
We are glad to have you. She'll be joining us most every week that she can be here, so get familiar with her face. We're excited to have her. Lynn, how are things down in Tampa? The view behind you looks spectacular.
It's great, actually. We've had some really rainy days here, so today the sun broke and more like we're used to down here in Tampa, so perfect weather day.
Perfect weather outside for hockey indoors coming up soon. So it's NHL season is just around the corner. And Lynn, I wanted to ask you, last year we had the NHL lockout that came to a close, and the season was just kind of upon us out of nowhere. What are the differences for you as a marketing staff from last season to this season, lockout shortened to an actual full off season?
Yeah, it's last year was a lot of kind of planning, stopping. We weren't sure exactly when we were going to get started again, so kind of just being ready for anything at any time. Are we going to start this week? This year with a full off season and knowing exactly when we were going to start as soon as the schedule was released, we were able to plan more efficiently. So I think just really put together a solid marketing plan and are ready for the season to go ahead and get started.
So what are some of those initiatives that you're implementing this season?
Yeah, last year was our 20th anniversary, so we were planning a lot around 20 years in Tampa Bay, one of the younger-ish franchises in the NHL, so we were planning stuff around that. This year is a normal season, not so much as a look back on the history. It is the 10th anniversary of the year that Tampa Bay won the Stanley Cup, so we do have that working for us. But other than that, it's kind of, business as usual. Our marketing campaign is Be the Thunder again this year. That's been kind of running now for 3 seasons because fans have really taken to it. So we're excited about that and really just getting ready for the season in normal fashion. We had a fan fest about a week ago, opened up the doors, had about 7,000 people show up to try to pick out seats and meet the team for the first time. We got a new coach this year, so kind of the normal stuff of just welcoming fans back into the building and getting ready for hockey.
Very cool. Speaking of Be the Thunder, we're very proud here at Row 27 to have created the Be the Thunder website for this last season. So if you're out there, go check it out, bethethunder.com. It's I give it 2 thumbs up. And speaking of the fans, Lynn, one of the things that the Tampa Bay Lightning has done, and I know that I don't know how well it's worked out or everything, but putting the RFD chip in the jerseys, it's a brilliant idea. It probably before its time, but how well has that worked? Are you guys still doing that? What's the status on those?
Yeah, we are still doing that. So 2 years ago, our ownership group decided to go ahead and put an RFID chip in the jersey. We launched a major promotion where anyone that bought season tickets got a new jersey. At the time, we were also launching a new logo. And the results have been phenomenal. We're able, first of all, it's a huge perk for our season ticket holders. So not only did they get a new jersey at the time that we changed our logo, but they also get major discounts on food and merch. So if you have your jersey and you're wearing it, you receive 25% off merchandise, or 25% off concessions, and 35% off at merchandise in store. So you can actually just come in, scan your chip, in the jersey sleeve, and get those discounts at the game. But what it's done, what it's done for us from a, Are you guys hearing me still?
Yeah, we're hearing you. You're cracking up a little
I'm
bit, but
hearing okay. What it's done from us from a marketing perspective is it's really allowed us to track fan behavior. So we actually have been able to take it to surprise fans. So now I know that the guy sitting at center ice seats, he gets a hot dog and a beer every time during the second period. You know, as a sales rep, if you have that account, you can actually go and surprise the guy and say, hey, this game, let me go get that for you. So we're able to kind of know a little bit more about what they're doing and be able to surprise our core customers, our season ticket holders, with perks that we probably wouldn't otherwise know, you know. So it's been very helpful for our sales and retention team. And the other benefit is that people are now wearing jerseys in Tampa, with us being a younger franchise, being only 20 years old. This was a market where a lot of people like to come. It's a great place to vacation, a great place to come. So we would see core hockey fans from up north come down for warm weather for a weekend of hockey, and now our own fans, people that have been in this area, are wearing Lightning jerseys, so you just see a lot more blue in the building.
Very cool, very cool.
So this season, the the NHL actually divided up into 4 divisions. So has this divisional realignment affected your plans at all, and how things are going to change?
We at the beginning of the year, part of our marketing plan is based on opponents. You know, there's definitely certain teams that sell better. There's bigger opponents, bigger rivalries. Teams that people want to see a little bit more in this area. So changing up the divisions has made us just kind of relook at what are we going to do. For us, I think our division got a lot stronger. So from a marketing standpoint, I like it because we're playing better hockey teams. I don't know if Eiserman would agree with me on the ice. He's got to play a lot better hockey teams all the time as well. So, but from a marketing standpoint, we really like it. We like kind of where we ended up. And, as with anything, there's a lot of factors that go into planning what you're going to do to get someone to come to that particular game. Opponent is one of them, but so is day of game. So is, other things that are going on in the market at that time. So.
Well, great. Best of luck this season. We're going to hop into some news stories, but the Lightning are always fun to watch on the ice with Martin St. Louis, the old man of the league almost. The guy's almost 40 years old, and then Steven Stamkos, one of the best up-and-comers in the NHL. But let's hop into our first story, and this involves the NFL. The Arizona Cardinals, I don't know if it's just a viral joke that they're doing, but they have designed a severed foam finger for an injured player. So this was Rashad Johnson actually lost the tip of his middle finger playing the other game, kept playing in the game, and then had to go into surgery afterwards. But as you saw there with the foam finger, I'm going to have Joe put that back up one more time, but they've actually come out with a foam finger that the tip of the middle finger is missing. It's kind of a fine line between, for something like this, to market an injury, so you can't just do any single injury that's out there. Lynn, what are your thoughts on this? Obviously, like I said, there is a fine line, but it's a pretty interesting out-of-the-box idea.
I'm not sure exactly what I feel about that. I mean, on one hand, I think it's good to be able to laugh and have fun with things. Not that an injury is any laughing matter by any way, shape, or form, but I don't think that's something that we would personally do, but I'm sure it's getting them a lot of attention. Obviously, you're talking about it on the show, so if you're looking for ideas that generate interest and get people talking, it sounds like that's a good one.
I love how we're talking about a hand injury, and Lynn started with on one hand. So it's I think she meant that one. Katia, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I actually love it. I think it's really entertaining. It's making light of a scary situation that luckily wasn't more severe and more serious. As of right now, I know that he's planning on playing on Sunday. So I think even if this isn't real and produced by the team, I think a lot of people will go into it and maybe cut off some of the fingers. And I think it's a support system for Rashad as well.
I think so. Like I said, with Louisville basketball this last year, when the player broke his leg, you can't make light of something like that. But if the player is for it, maybe it's a good idea. And like Lynn said, we're talking about them. People are talking about them. So even if they don't come out with this, they're in the news. People are engaged with it. So it is an interesting idea. Let's see how it goes. I'm sure that there are some people, especially Cardinals fans, that'll probably be scooping those up and wearing those at the game. Let's move on to our next topic. This one involves social media and a recent event where some people got together, talked about it, and one of the interesting things that that came up with is that some rights holders recognize that obviously virtual space is giving fans a real sense of ownership. They can tweet, Facebook, connect with teams to incorporate this, but what's the fine line between that where you're losing people from that, or you're isolating this wider market by just going those social media routes? Obviously, there's the importance of TV, billboards, papers, things of that nature. But Lynn, what are your thoughts? Just first, I know that obviously you guys are doing some great things down there, but the fine line between social media and traditional advertising outlets.
Yeah, I love social media. I hired the first full-time social media person at my previous job. I hired the first full-time social media person here at the Lightning. We love that interaction with fans. We make sure that it's a part of all of our marketing mix, but it's not our only marketing mix. We still believe in traditional marketing. We think that it works. Our sport is very, I think visual works best. So I like mediums where you can actually show off the sport. And a lot of times social media is a great avenue for that. So it's free, and it's a way that fans are definitely engaging with us directly. So we're absolutely taking advantage of it, but not looking to it 100% for the answer.
In the story, Lynn, they talk about how there's been a lot more physical engagement in the past with their core fans, but the emergence of social media has meant that these events can be done online, targeting a bigger audience. But you just talked about the other day you had a fan event there at the arena. So obviously it's still important to get that actual touch and feel with the consumer, not just the virtual message.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we like to meet our fans. Obviously, it's an event where we're having 20,000 people come down, so we love to meet people in person. But I do think there's a lot of quick ways to get messages out socially, and there's a lot of things you can do for the people that can't actually make it. It can't actually make it to a game, and you want to engage fans whether they're here and able to go or not.
All right, Katia, what are your thoughts on this? You being a sports fan and then also working for a sports radio station, ESPN 1500 here in the Twin Cities. I want to get your take on this as well.
Yeah, I think, it's really important to not have all your eggs in one basket, of course, and solely engage with fans on a social media aspect. But, it's a great opportunity to tap into their social presence and then learn how to use what the fans want and use that in your traditional marketing methods and just make something that people are, fresh and new, because I think a lot of people are over the traditional method and over the billboards, and you need something that's always fresh and engaging. So I think if you really listen to your fans, you can create something great.
And I think there's a way to kind of mesh the both with the U.S. Open tennis tournament. We talked about how they had a Twitter board there. So it's fine to it's a fine line, and you can reach different audiences with both mediums. So I love the social media aspect. There's so many people that can get involved, but yeah, you will still want them to come out and spend money at your event. So like I said, there is a fine line, but it is interesting. Going on the social media topic again, let's move on to NASCAR. They have a pretty interesting setup that they do. It is called the Fan and Media Engagement Center. We're going to show a picture here. This has all sorts of the analytics from their Twitter, their Facebook, everything that goes on. The center tracks, collects, catalogs, and analyzes all forms of the social media that NASCAR is involved in. The FEMC, as it's known, also could become an important asset for sponsors weighing the impact of their investments. This data should provide an enhanced way of identifying the narrative around the sport. With NASCAR, it's very the fans just kind of dive in and they become ingrained in it. Being a NASCAR fan myself, I kind of speak how I feel. And NASCAR fans, especially on big moments of a race, they're going to send out tweets, they're going to send out Facebook messages, and this is an awesome opportunity for NASCAR to get some of that data, see where the peak is, and really see how fans are engaging in the TV aspect, but then on the social media side as well. Katia, we're going to start with you.
Yeah.
Let's just get your overall thoughts.
I think it's great. I think NASCAR is really moving in the right direction. Generally NASCAR has an older fan base, but they are some of the most loyal fans in sports. So I think really engaging that younger community and getting them to interact on different devices that they're already familiar with, like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. It's going to make them lifelong fans and just continue the sport as well. Another aspect is, it's really going to help the specific speedways in terms of how they're going to market towards those fans and the older generation as well. I know the last 3 championship races are going to be held at the Homestead in Miami. So that's a great way for them to really tap into some of the biggest races around and see who's there, what celebrities are there. That'll even grow the sport even more.
Yeah, with one of the last races at Bristol, it's always it's an interesting race. It's a small racetrack. Something always happens. There were over 107,000 social media mentions, especially at one point when 2 drivers kind of got into a kerfuffle. So it's you could tell that people were watching and engaging in that way. Lynn, I want to get your thoughts, and then is this something that the Lightning have in place or would like to get in place?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's great. I think that in general, we are taking a lot of proactive ways to how do we really engage people with the second screen, and whether that is you're watching it on television or whether you're actually in the arena with your mobile phone. But what are all the different ways? I think the way people are consuming sports is just different. I think that the kids these days, and I do not put myself in that category anymore, but kids these days are sitting there, watching the games, and we talk about it all the time, like, get them on camera. Well, you can't because they're looking at their phone the whole time or tweeting or doing something while they're watching sports. And I think it's just going to change the way people kind of consume sports. So whether you're actually in the live arena event or whether you are watching on TV, engaging people socially and mobily is a really good idea.
And you mentioned that you were one of the first people to kind of hire a social media expert for your staff. What does your person do on a game night, and also when there's not events going on in town, just to keep fans engaged?
Yeah, so they're 24/7. They're monitoring and answering fans. So first and foremost, they're kind of like the liaison where if fans have questions about anything, you can hopefully reach out to us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, and you'll get an answer. Something as simple as where do I park to something about a latest player injury or something like that. So they're kind of answering all that in game. They have a lot of different things that they do. We do a lot of prizing. If you're following us online, it's an opportunity to get unique experiences and stuff. We started a social quad last year, one of the first major league sports to put a social quad in. So if you're tweeting or Facebooking or Instagramming during the game, you can actually see your messages live on the social quad. If you stop by the social quad every single game and check in, you can get prizes, everything from a button or a cookie or something big like the ability to take a picture with a player. So we've always got something kind of going on. And then we also have a social captain program. So this year, for every single game, we don't hire because they're not paid, but we work with someone to be the social captain of the game, where we actually have a fan of the area. Sometimes it's a local celebrity, but most often it's just a fan, and they actually get to talk about the game from their perspective. So that's usually what my full-time social media manager is doing, is kind of managing all those things, giving out prizes, and just making sure that fans have another way to interact. So even if you're there, you also get to participate in all these things that are going on online.
That is a very cool job. I need somebody to pay me to do that full time. That would be Jason, if you're watching. That's something. Katya, what you mentioned Homestead Miami Speedway. You have a friend that works there. Has she ever talked to you about this kind of aspect and how it's involved in her life, especially being the finale for the NASCAR season?
Yeah, I think it's really cool how she's always engaging, even on Vine, and Instagram video has really been a great opportunity for her and the Speedway to interact with fans, and not even specific NASCAR fans. I'm not a NASCAR fan, I'm not going to lie, and I'm always extremely impressed by her videos, and it makes me want to dive into the sport more and learn more. So I think that's a great opportunity for them to grow a stronger fan base, and especially in the more northern states where it's not so popular.
Very cool. Well, Staying down in the South, being NASCAR is a Southern thing. Today's That Just Happened moment. This involves the NFL and the lovable losers, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They came out with a promotion. They sent it out on Twitter. You buy a Jaguars ticket, and you get free beer. You know things are not going your team's way when you see an offer like this. Obviously, this isn't going to happen for a marvelous team like the Tampa Bay Lightning. We wish them the best this year, and we know that they're going to do well. But Jaguars, you might have just sold me on a ticket because God knows I love free beer. Anyway, I'd like to thank Katya and Lynn for joining us today. You can check them out on Twitter. It's at Katya_Demitra, Demetra. And Lynn, you can follow her at Lynn, LYNNWITT. So thanks for watching. Check us out on Twitter at SB Now, online at sportsbusinessnow.com, and tune in next Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern with an all-new edition of SBN Live.
SBN, Sports Business Now.